Good morning. We've got a project today, something to do. That's exciting because I wander around a lot of days like, what am I going to do today? I know what I'm doing this morning. We've got to get this kit installed on the new draper head. So, first thing to do is get it so we can work on it. So it's sitting in the driveway on the trailer right now. We're going to put it in the new barn on the concrete. We got to move the grain cart out, get the combine in position, and then back the head in there so we can pick it off like we did when we were working on those knife sections on the cutter bar. Easy button for backing four-wheel steer header carts into barns. Use the forklift. All right, we've got it hooked up. Look at this. Watch this. I'm even gonna throw the safety stop. Apparently I don't have it lifted all the way up. Dang it. All right, well, we gotta lift it all the way up. There we go. Now it's down. This the feeder house faceplate tips on this, and apparently you have to have it tipped all the way back for the cylinders to go up high enough for the safety stop. So we're gonna pull this header cart out of here, but essentially we have to go through and replace 4 of these support arms. Directions are in the crate over there, so we'll have to do a little reading, figure out where exactly they go and what we're supposed to do, and we'll figure it out. I have unpacked our crate. We essentially have 4 of everything. Go figure. So we've got 4 of these new float arms. Like I said, these are direct replacement for this that's on there. The only difference, I think, is some of these brackets that are welded on here. Specifically this one. I don't know about that one. I didn't look that close. Anyway, we've got to read through the directions, but I think you're supposed to actually assemble these before you bolt them up there and not after. So we'll do a little figure in here, but skid plate's got to go on, and these sensor arm brackets, and we'll figure it out. Okay, I went ahead and got one of these arms assembled the way you're supposed to do it so that I know what I'm doing and I don't make a fool of myself trying to show you how to do it. So now that we've gotten it together, we'll go through and I'll show you step by step. First thing is to put the skid plate on. So I don't know if this is the way to do it or not, but I just kind of stood it up on end, and this skid plate fits right on here, and we snap rivet it into place. See if it'll stay. We got some big snap rivet, pop rivets, that's what I meant. Big pop rivets go in there like that. You gotta have a big pop rivet gun to secure them. Okay. Okay, skid plate is on. So next up we have to assemble the feeler arm piece. So we need one of these. This slides in there about like that. You want this slot lined up with this hole. And then we take one of these bolts, stick it in there, another one right there, and they get these little lock nuts. Like so. Next up, we've got to get this piece ready. So there is a little roll pin, or what Deere would call a spring pin, right here. This has to go through this hole, and it needs to sit flush. And this was a little tricky, but I got it on the first one, so we'll get this one put in there. Okay, there you can see that. Now, there are some O-rings here, and there's 2 different O-rings. There's these thick ones and these thin ones. We need one of these thin ones to go in that slot. Oops. Just like that. Now that doesn't actually go there, that's just temporary, but that's where it goes. Now we need to lubricate that. So that it slides through the arm up here. So that's going to slide through this right here. So we also need to lubricate these seals up so that it will slide through there without gouging. Do the other side. Oops, sorry, you're too close. Okay, now this is the tricky part. Let me get you guys set back over here. Can you see? Yeah, you can see. Now, we have to get this in here. It's a tight fit. There. Got it. Okay. Now we have to get that O-ring out of that groove. It says in the instructions that it will shear off when you push it through the bushings, but it doesn't actually shear off. So there's that. Clean it up a little bit. And then we grab one of these washers and the snap ring. And the snap ring goes on there. Like so. Okay, next up we put this little shock absorber arm on. So we gotta pivot this down, and this goes in there like that. Get a nut put on it. And then the other end goes up there, and a nut, and we'll get it tightened up. All right, so now it keeps that arm pushed down. Okay, there's a spring clip right here we're going to put on that holds it up. So when we're doing soybeans, we'll pin these up and lock them, because we don't want them to float down in beans. The head, right? Yeah, it's just different. It's just different. Okay. So all right, sensor. We gotta put the sensor together. Okay. So here's our sensor. This is the shaft. This slot is what the roll pin that we put in there, that spring pin, fits onto. This fits in here, and then it turns, and that's how it senses where that arm is. So but we've got a little bit of assembly to do here. We need this piece, and let's see, what was the next step? We need a O-ring in there. You need this on here. Okay, we need an O-ring on there. And that goes like that. Oh no, I missed a step. Hold on. Before we do that, we gotta put this in here. And we need this little clip. We gotta lock that on there. There we go. So we got that clip on. Okay, now we put an O-ring in there. And we put this on. And we've got this with our O-ring already on it. Gotta get it lined up just right. There. And get everything seated. And we want this like that. Okay, and then this bolt goes through like that. One of these little lock washers. And a little itty bitty nut. I might not have it seated quite right. Like so. Okay, now we need a couple of these. We need our impact with a 10 millimeter. And we need to go over here. So the sensor fits on the opposite side of the arm. It's gonna go on like so, and then we twist it and line up the bolt. And this is a self-tapper bolt, so it threads the hole as you drive it in. Okay, there's that. Now we need a wire harness. All right, here's our wire harness. Goes this way, clips it onto our sensor, and lay this down like so. There's a nice channel here with pre-cut slots for zip ties. So we'll zip tie that on. Can you guys see? Nope. There. Now you can see. No, backwards. There. Okay, and here is a little thing that in my mind sets John Deere apart from other manufacturers, because they have these pre-attached zip tie stud things that is in exactly the right spot to push into that hole. So that's as far as we go for right now until we get it mounted up. I'm sure the rest of these go on the head somewhere to the wire harness that's already there. Somewhere I have some side cut pliers. We can trim these zip ties up. Right here. Okay, and then one last piece. We've got a cover that goes on there. That's this black piece. Goes on about like that. We need a couple more of these. We need to put you guys down. Done. Wait, I forgot a step. There's a grease zerk. When you get done, you gotta grease right up in there. Come on. There it goes. 7 shots, it says. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Excellent. Now we're done. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and assemble the other two, and then we'll figure out how to get them up there. There, we've got all 4 of them assembled. So I don't know, yeah, I don't know exactly where they go on there. By the way, assembling those goes a lot faster when, 1, it's not the first one and you know what you're doing, and 2, you're not trying to film it. Those 2 were fast. Anyway, we gotta keep reading, see which ones of those arms we've got to take off and replace, and how exactly we get them out of there. All right, we've got one sensor installed. I decided to do one before I film and show you so that I know what I'm doing, and it took a little while. The next ones should be faster. So we got to locate where it's going to go. Pretty sure it is this one, but I'm going to double check the manual or the instructions just to make sure that's where they want it. Okay, it is indeed this arm. So first step we've got to do is dig the belt out of the front up here to get into the support that's running across there to get that out. So let me pull that out. We've got the tension off of the draper belts already. Okay, now there's a bolt through here that holds the hydraulic cylinder for the Hydroflex, and that's got to come out. So we need our 13mm socket jack. Let me see. Sure. And 15mm wrench. I think that side's got to drop down, doesn't it? Does it not? Want to drop down? What are we catching? Hold on, I don't want caught on this. Can you push it back in? Gotta get that hook. Yeah. There. Pop that. Oh. All right, there, we got that arm off. There's a little hydraulic cylinder here that catches on stuff, and the end just pops right out of it. But I put it back in there. That's where our little bit of leaking oil came from. Okay, so that's out. There's one bolt that we've got to move. This one here has got to come out and get put in the other one, and then we're ready to put it back in. Hold on. What's it? Oh, we got that. Way up. Up. A little bit to go, guys.
We're hitting these.
I see that. And our draper belt's pinched tight, so we're gonna have to get that front to pivot up. I have to take those other two brackets off. Hold on. All right, it should push back, does it not? Hold on. That cylinder. Boy, that's a real pain there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've gotten it in place. Now we've got to get the pin lined up for this bolt to go through that cylinder to hold it in there, and then get the rest of these bolts in. So that little bolt right there is a giant pain in the butt. You can't, the cylinder gets rotated in there, the ram, so the hole doesn't line up, and there's no real good way to turn it. You can try and reach down on the top there and push down on it, but pretty hard to do. That's the best I had for a light. Oh, okay. We got to tighten up bolts. We got this. This bolt, and this bolt all need tightened up. Once you get those bolts tight, then there's a little bracket that bolts on here that's quite literally only there to hold this wire like that. And then this one goes up there. That one goes right next to it. And then we push the wires out through that hole in the back. Something like that. And we come back here and we got to figure out how to route this, but this plug-in is right here. It was tucked up in here, but it's right there. So we just got to plug that in. We do have to put the bolts back into that this arm that we took out to get everything in there. So there's draper support there. We got to bolt that back in. All right, well, there's two of them in half. We can tighten our draper belts back up on this side. So that is just a bolt over here. And there's a gauge on the back. Make sure they look all right now that we're close. Everything falling into place. Yeah, looks good. All right, it's like 1 o'clock, I think. I'm gonna go eat lunch real quick, and then we'll come back and do these other two. We're getting better. They'll go faster the more we do. Check it out. I'm back from lunch and I got 4 sensors. Done and done. So they're all on and plugged in. My salesman's here from John Deere making our combine do cool things. We'll talk about that later. But I'm sure we need to get in there and do a little calibration. So probably gonna drop it, hook it up outside, because I bet we'll have to have everything running. And go from there. Maybe the concrete floor would be good because it's flat. I'll see what he thinks. We've got some programming or setup to do, calibration, so I'm increasing the hydroflex pressure. Watch what happens to my cutter bar here when I get it up high enough. There it goes, there it goes, slowly. There it goes. That raises that cutter bar and locks it into rigid mode. We should be able to take this all the way up to close to 3,000. That's those little cylinders that we had to take apart. Or not take apart, but take off and attach to the new arms. That's those pressurizing, pushing up on those arms that we put in there. So, all right, good enough. What's next? We got the combine out, head off of it. I think we're actually going to go combine a little bit here, if nothing else, just to test stuff out and make sure everything's working. But it's making me do a parked filter regen cleaning deal because, well, I had the automatic stuff turned off because I didn't want it to do it last fall when we were putting it in the barn and I forgot. So, yeah, we gotta wait. All right, there's a combine following me. It's my John Deere salesman driving that. We're in the grain cart tractor. We're taking this stuff back here. We're gonna go in this field where we had started the other day, do a little bit more. I don't know how much we're gonna do. It depends on how dry the wheat is. There's actually rain to the north. We may get rained out. If nothing else, we'll probably do 1,500 bushels so we have a drier batch because I'm sure it's still wet. If it happened to be relatively dry, we'll keep going. But this is a testing procedure. We are testing our sensors, make sure they work while I have the dealer with me. And we are going to test another cool thing that I'll tell you what it is in a little bit, but we'll talk about it in another video because this one's going to be long enough and that one deserves its own video. Okay, we are combining wheat. We have cool things working. Our Connect Mobile, there we go. We got a yield map up on an iPad display so I can see that. And it's got all the numbers and stuff there that are maybe important. So that's nice, having a second display. And our sensors are working. And the ways that you can tell they're working is because that number there is changing and not just a solid number, which means that the sensors are feeling the ground and moving the head up and down. So, yeah, it's all is good on this stuff. Cooler things to come. All right, so I had Dad jump in the combine with the salesman there, and we're back in the grain cart. All right, so the reason that he is here really is because we were setting up John Deere's machine sync, which is a very, very, very cool thing where the combine will actually control the grain cart while we're unloading on the go, so that it will control the speed and the home position, and it's really, really cool. So we're getting that all set up. I'm going to do a lot of this stuff on this in future videos. I just wanted to touch on it in today's because that's really why he's here. But our header height sensors seem to be working really well. The varying heights of the wheat complicates it a little bit. But yeah, this is cool. So I've got some buttons here where I can nudge myself forward or backwards, and position the grain cart. He can do that from the combine as well, and we can move it in and out. So, yeah, oh man, this is cool. This is cool. Combine and wheat. Can you guys see those rows in between the rows and the stubble? Now there's none right here, but then up there they start again. That is our replant wheat. It's plenty green. There's definitely green wheat in here blended in that's making it all a little green. But it's not horrible. We're probably running 18% right now. We're gonna dry it anyway, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, right in there. That's all replant stuff. How much it's helping, I don't know. In the thin spots, it had to help some. So, waiting for Dad to put his auger out so we can unload there. Chasing the fawns out up here. It's a little one. Anyway, we're gonna get enough on the grain cart here to get a dryer load. So we filled one truck. Our dryer, we're running it through our GSI batch dryer. I'll show you guys that sometime too, maybe later today. But it needs 1,500 bushels for a batch, and so we need another 50,000 pounds on the grain cart in order to have enough to fill that dryer up. And once we get that, we'll just take it back. So we've got 18,000 right now. Our U-Harvest system is working today. We've unloaded 2 loads into the trucks. It recorded both of them, so that's good. Once we get up to, like I said, 50,000 on there, probably make one more round after this, or we'll unload when we get down to the far end there and we'll see how much we got. If we got enough, we'll quit then. If not, we'll do another round. But I think that's probably how far that we're going to go. I was getting a couple of raindrops on the windshield anyway, so I don't know if we're going to be able to do much more if we wanted to. Close enough. And we're getting a few raindrops. They're there, I promise. So we're going to call it quits for the night, but this rain doesn't look like it's going to be substantial, and I think we're going to be in really, really good shape for tomorrow. It's supposed to get sunny and warm again for the next week. I would assume tomorrow, Sunday, Monday are going to be our 3 wheat harvest days, and then we'll be done. All right, I brought the cart up and we unloaded it in the truck there. We're going to see if our DEF pump works. Don't really need DEF. We got 3/4 of a tank, but we might as well fill her up. The nozzle fits, that's good. Ooh, that don't sound right. That don't sound good at all. Oh no. The fan shroud was rubbing on the fan. I loosened the screws up and pushed it down. We'll try again here. Much better. Is it pumping? It is pumping. We'll see if it shuts off. Shouldn't take much. I think it's only like a 12-gallon DEF tank. Oh yeah, I can smell it. I don't see any leaks. That's positive too. There you go. It works. Okay, now we'll go set this out by the fuel tank. We're gonna need it for the combine too. Our 4440 air conditioner wasn't working. The old receiver dryer, this piece sitting over here, exploded and filled the lines with desiccant. So we had to put a new one of those in, blow all the lines out, and get all the stuff out. And Uncle Jack's been working on it. He, yeah, certified air conditioner repairman, right, Jack?
Yeah, I got a card.
Yeah, got it all changed out, vacuumed it, and adding Freon in now. So, all right, there's that. It's as out of the way as it's gonna get. Ideally, we would build a platform and set it over the railing in the containment, which needs pumped out, by the way, but that'll have to do for now. Look at that. It's like he knows what he's doing. Icing it up. Cool.
Here's all your paperwork.
Tractor's all back together. Good to go. All right, well, the rain looks like a complete bust. We got a few sprinkles, but it never got anything wet. We probably could have combined right through it, but the wheat was plenty wet tonight, and like I said, we were really just testing stuff, making sure it's going to work. So we will hit it hard tomorrow. Probably get maybe a little bit of a late start, 1, 2 o'clock, and see what we can get done. Trying to let it dry a little bit, as much as possible. And then after that, Sunday and Monday, we should be able to finish up easily. So I'm heading home. Thanks for watching. Questions, comments, leave them down below. I'm sure this one was long. I'm sure the next 2 will be long, but it is what it is. So yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to head over to Farm Focus, grab yourself some Waterview Farms merchandise. We are still doing that fundraiser for the Corporal Dagan Page Foundation, and that runs through the 15th of July here. So $5 from every item sold will be donated to that foundation. It's a good cause. Link in the description to both Farm Focus and to their website, so you can check their foundation out a little bit more. Thanks everybody, we'll see you.